All right, now we're gonna get to the recipe. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna cut our grapefruit in half. Probably make sure they stand up. This one's good. That one will stand up too. Okay, then we're gonna wanna, somebody mentioned something about Alice. I think you said it's kind of complicated. Okay, we got the meringue, and then taking the grapefruit out of it, remove the membranes. All we're doing is slicing, segmenting on each side. And here we go on our whipped cream. And this, while we're talking peaks and stuff, this, if I would have gone about another minute, it would have that firm peak like the meringue. But this is a soft peak. It's fallen on me. And for this purpose today, that's what I want. I don't want it fully whipped, but I bet you another minute going through there, it would have peaked out and would have had those kinds of peaks like the meringue would. So I'm going to just set that up there for now. Back to the grapefruit. We're going to segment in between the natural segments. And they make those grapefruit knives. And I didn't bring my toolkit up, but I have one, and those things work great. So we'll do this one. The reason why I increased the recipe, what the recipe calls for would give you 4 grapefruits, or 8 halves rather, using 4 grapefruits. We're going to do an alternative dish to this today. That could speed up time, or something you can prepare ahead of time before your guests get to your house or whatever. So I did a little extra meringue so I could show you that process as well. Okay, so basically what I've done is release the grapefruit from the bottom and segmented it so it'll fall out really easy when you stick a fork or a spoon down in there. Take your grapefruits, put them on in there. Take a little of your whipped cream, soft peak whipped cream. You're going to put a little mound right on there, not much more than that. See, that peak is not holding real strong, and that's okay. And then we're going to smooth it out a little. Come back to that meringue or that whipped cream there in a minute. All right, we're almost done. Now, thanks to Chef Tony, he bagged up meringue. Okay, now it's a big old bag of meringue. And also, I'm going to show you 2 ways. I'm actually going to rip into this, and what you want to do is we're just going to take these. And it's clouds of grapefruit. Well, that doesn't look too cloudy to me, so. Yeah, that looks a little more like a cloud. Now the next method, this is always a fun method. You could just scoop it in your hand. Okay, take it right out of the bowl. Put it on top. And then make a cloud. So either way would work. Notice I put a little more pressure on this one, so we had a little of that whipped cream come around off of it. That's okay. But you could buy these tips at different stores. Load up a little disposable pastry bag or a vinyl pastry bag, and you'd be set to go. Okay, that's it for this recipe, really. Put it in the oven. We're not going to do that just yet. Well, yeah, I could do them on here because I could pull them out in a little bit. That's it. What you do, you bake it off, browns up, and it's really good eating. We did these one other time. Now this is a 425 oven. Got to push to the back on the high shelf so it gets as much heat on the outside as possible. Yes, ma'am. It will. The whipped cream actually will kind of start oozing out down into it, so you end up with kind of, and it mixes with the juice, the grapefruit juice in there. And they kind of blend in together, but yeah, it will. It'll kind of go in there. Nope. Nope. I guess it's because of the heat going into it. If yeah, it just sat there, it might curdle up on you. Okay. Now, if you want to. And you don't want to go through the clouds of grapefruit per se with the individual grapefruit. You can make one, and I did a variation. I'll show you what I did here. You know, grapefruit half, eating it is one thing, but eating a big casserole or whatever of grapefruit might be a little hard to handle. So what I did is I just peeled this grapefruit. Tony peeled this grapefruit. He's back there looking at me like, hey, boss. And I'll show you what he did to get it this way. He just took an end off, stood it up, so you got a firm base. Now, when I peel this, I'm gonna be working with a cantaloupe later. Watch, it's gonna be about the same process. Gonna come around on one side and got just a little bit of pulp on there, but not much. Now I'm going to come around, do the other one, and I'm just going to work in quadrants here. So I got the first 4 pieces off of there. Now I'm going to round it off, and you got to kind of tilt your knife at the bottom. There we go. So working in 4s on that. Now, all I did was take this grapefruit, cut out the center part. It gets all the seeds out. You cross cut them, the pieces. It's not anything, that precise. And you just get your chunks and you put those in like that and you're good to go. We'll be doing something with those here in a little bit. Okay, so coming back to the pastry bag, coming back to our fresh whipped cream, we're going to put a little of this over the top. We'll just kind of smooth that over. Kind of the same concept as a single grapefruit. This has also mandarin oranges added to it. So it's going to cut that tartness of the grapefruit, smooth it out a little bit. Now we're going to take our meringue. Another method for you. And there we go. We're just going to kind of get that coated in. I could play all day with this. And just kind of push your spatula in and out a little bit. Then I'll go across them a little. There you go. This is something you could do and put in the refrigerator for a little bit. Ooh, nice. I'm excited because I'm not real keen on this oven right here. It's not a bad oven, but doesn't have any convection to it. So I get a little nervous when I'm cooking in that oven and have to time things. And anything you want to put on top, you could do that. Yeah, let's see how messy I could get here. And what did we do last week? We were cooking with herbs, right? Well, here we go again. Another good use for herbs. Okay, there you go. That would be just your single servings of clouds of grapefruit, following the recipe. Your second one, and we'll bake this off in a little bit when I start cooking the fruit galette, because I'll cook around the same amount of time. There's one big cloud there. Then again, maraschino cherries, if you want to put, I like that toasted coconut idea. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, you want to do something like this at the holidays, and not necessarily grapefruit. We could do the red and green maraschinos.